Barrette Outdoor Living Enclosure Screening System is a pre-engineered screen wall enclosure system that allows you to build a screen enclosure in place on your deck or patio. In this video, we will discuss planning and installing a screen enclosure using your home's existing structure. Before we start, here's a visual list of the tools necessary for a successful installation. Now let's start by reviewing the intended use for each of the available components. Please note that not all components may be necessary for your enclosure. First, the 1x2 aluminum extrusions are used to create a screen frame around the inside perimeter of your opening. They are available in 8-foot, 10-foot, and 12-foot lengths. The 1x2 can be installed with the spline groove facing inwards or outwards, depending on which side you would like to apply the screen from. Next, the 2x2 aluminum extrusions are used horizontally and vertically to divide a large opening into multiple smaller panels. The 2x2 is also available in 8-foot, 10-foot, and 12-foot lengths. The 2x2 has dual spline channels and, similarly to the 1x2, can be installed facing outwards or inwards, depending on which side you would like to apply the screen from. Make sure the 1x2s and 2x2s are installed with the channels facing the same direction. The L-angle Capri clip, along with 4 3/4-inch self-tapping screws per clip, is used to hold the 2x2s in place. Now that you have a brief understanding of the components, it's time to design your layout. To do this, let's take a look at 4 example layouts, one of which will include framing a screen door. In our first example, we'll frame an 8-foot wide by 6-foot tall or smaller opening. At this size, only 1x2s installed around the perimeter are necessary. The 1x2s are fastened in place every 18 to 24 inches using number 10 by 2-inch wood screws, which require a 1/8-inch pilot hole. Or if you are installing onto concrete or brick walls, you'll use 1/4-inch by 2 1/4-inch tapcons, which require a 3/16-inch pilot hole. Color-matched fasteners are provided with all screen enclosure packages. For example, number 2. We'll frame a 12-foot wide by 8-foot tall opening in which both 1x2s and 2x2s are necessary. Notice how in this example, a vertical 2x2 is installed to split the 12-foot wide opening into left and right 6-foot openings. To finish up, horizontal 2x2s will be cut and installed on each side of the vertical 2x2 at 36 inches up from the floor, using 4 Capri clips with 3/4-inch fasteners. For our third example, we'll lay out a 20-foot wide by 10-foot tall opening. Because the 20-foot opening width is greater than the available 12-foot 1x2s, vertical 2x2s must first be used to divide the opening into smaller panels, and then the 1x2s are cut to fit the smaller openings. Let's take a closer look at the required steps to frame this opening. We'll start by positioning a vertical 2x2 in place and making pencil marks along both sides of the header so it can be installed at the identical location in the next step. After the location is marked, lay down the 2x2 for now. Next, measure the horizontal distance from your pencil mark to the wall. Cut and install a 1x2 horizontally between the wall and the 2x2 pencil mark. Now, while holding the 2x2 in its former position, attach the 1x2 and 2x2 together at the top with a Capri clip. Repeat this process for the horizontal 1x2 at the floor, making sure you attach with a Capri clip. Now, measure and install the right panel 1x2s at the header and floor. Capri clips are optional on this side, but usually installed for uniformity. Now, cut and install the 1x2s vertically on each side of the opening. To finish up, horizontal 2x2s will be cut and installed on each side of the vertical 2x2 at 36 inches up from the floor, using 4 Capri clips with 3/4 inch fasteners. For the fourth and final example, we will frame the same size 20-foot wide by 10-foot tall opening and demonstrate how to add a door frame. The first step is to confirm the door's location. The door frame requires 2 2x2s running from the floor to the ceiling. Let's start by marking the location of left vertical 2x2 with a pencil mark on both sides at the header and at the floor. Be sure to confirm the 2x2 is vertically level. Next, measure, cut and install the horizontal 1x2s at the header and on the floor, and fasten them to the vertical 2x2s using Capri clips. Before installing the right side of the door frame, cut and install a 36-inch piece of 1x2 horizontally at the header on the right side of the first 2x2. Now, while holding the second vertical 2x2 against the newly installed 1x2, secure it in place with a Capri clip. Next, confirm the 2x2 is vertically level. Then, measure, cut and install the 1x2s at the header and floor and secure with Capri clips. Now, measure, cut and install the side 1x2s. Install a 36-inch horizontal 2x2 at 80 inches up from the floor and between the vertical 2x2s, creating the door's header. Very important! The Capri clips must be installed on the outside of the 2x2 door frame to avoid impeding the travel of the screen door. The finished rough opening for our screen door is 36 inches by 80 inches. To finish up, horizontal 2x2s will be cut and installed on each side of the vertical 2x2 at 36 inches up from the floor, using 4 Capri clips with 3/4 inch fasteners. Now that the framing is in place, the next step is to apply the screen. We recommend starting with the smallest openings first. First, practice fitting the spline into the spline channel. Cut a 6-inch piece of spline and, using your fingers, push the flat side of the spline into the deeper edge of the spline channel. Next, practice rolling the spline roller tool to lock the spline into the spline channel. Now that you understand how the spline locks the screen in the frame, we are ready to get screening. Using painter's tape, position a piece of screen over the opening to be screened, leaving at least an extra 3-inch border or more of fabric around the entire opening. Starting in the middle of the top 1-inch by 2-inch, roll the spline and screen into the channel towards both corners, leaving a couple of inches unsplined at each corner. Next, using separate pieces of spline, roll in each side towards the bottom, again leaving a couple of inches at corners. Now at bottom, and using a separate roll spline in from the middle towards each corner. Tip: when initially starting to roll in the first spline, ensure the horizontal strands of the screen are parallel with the horizontal 1x2 header. Also, as you are rolling the spline in on the second vertical side, and as the spline locks into place, your screen should become tight. If necessary, pull out spline and restart process until you achieve the desired look and screen tautness. The final step is to trim off the excess screen mesh using a utility knife or razor blade. The best method is to cut from the back side of the screen and point the tip of the blade towards the rubber spline. Be careful not to puncture your newly applied screen when trimming. Thank you for watching this video.